Oh, jet lag. It's not bad, but oh, could be worse. Well, I made it. I left February 1st from home my flight left around 8 o'clock at night. It was a 5-hour flight to Vancouver. And then from Vancouver, I flew to Brisbane, which was a 15 and a half hour flight. And then I had to catch a flight from Brisbane to Sydney. I'm in Sydney here right now in my hotel room. And it's a beautiful city right around the harbor area, not too far from the Opera House is where I'm staying. I'm only in here, the city of Sydney, for like a day and a half. I'm flying back to Brisbane and then going out to the countryside to see some farms. So right now, I'm a tourist. And you can see, I'm just going to insert some video I took with my phone. I didn't want to drag my camera out and carry a backpack. It was freaking hot. Coming from Canada, where we had snow, and it was about -1 degree Celsius. Well, when I left to come here, it's like, I think it said it felt like 35 degrees Celsius with the humidity, and it was muggy. So as a result, I had to find a place that served cold beer. And I had a couple cold beers, actually. So far, the jet lag's not too bad. I slept about 10 hours last night. I might have OD'd on melatonin to help sleep. But tonight I'm going to a young farmer's leadership dinner, I think. A gentleman I'm staying with and his family tonight, he's invited me to go to this panel, and what I find interesting about it, it's specific to the grain industry. And with my time I spent at the Grain Farmers of Ontario, I thought it'd be really interesting to go hear what this panel had to say and just interact maybe with some of these future young leaders for Australian grain, the Australian grain industry. So I'm going to do that tonight, and then as I said, head to Brizzy and stay there for a night, meet up with a friend of the family that's been in Australia here for a while. Actually, I think she left, I don't know when she left, but she's been here for a while. Meet up with her, and then I'm heading to the countryside to start seeing some farms. So I'm alive, I'm well, I made it to Australia. It's been a quiet, I would say it's been a quiet couple days. I'm in Brisbane, or as some people call it, Brizzy. I find the Australians put a Y on everything they can. Tassie, Brizzy, Uni, I don't know what else so far, but I imagine I'll find out. But I want to show you something before I head out here this morning. It's about 7 o'clock in the morning here in Brisbane, and this is something I don't think I expected to see. Yes, that is rain. They're calling for rain for 4 days, I think maybe along the east coast. So I was in Sydney, I'm north up into Brisbane, and that area right now is getting some rain. I'm heading out to the countryside here today. That's why I got my camera unpacked. Going to stop at a farm that invited me there for lunch, and then I'm heading into a small town called Miles, which is kind of east and a little bit north of Brisbane. I'm just going to pack up here and probably head out for the day, but I just wanted to show you that it actually rained in Australia, and if I known it was going to rain, I would have come here sooner. So just driving on a highway outside of Brisbane, probably been driving for about an hour. Traffic was a little crazy getting out of the city, but I think because they've had rain here lately, it is quite green, surprisingly. I'll show you some pictures, but I think we're going kind of through some higher terrain here. And I think once we get on the other side of it, it'll probably be a little flatter, but it almost looks subtropical here. And I know that's probably not typical, or maybe it is, I don't know. But it's quite green. And I'm happy to see that, because it means they must have gotten some rain. I got so a little bit of time. I found an equipment dealership on the way to where I'm heading, and I was just gonna hop out and take a look here and show you some. A lot of it doesn't look much different. You know, I'm at a Case dealership here and just checking it out. The interesting thing I find is terminology. When I talk combines, they call them headers here. So we would call a header what we put on the front of the combine, but they call combines headers. So it's pretty cool. It's the grain farmer in me. I just can't miss looking at equipment. Just to give you a quick sense, I'm north out of a town called Dalby, and this is what it looks like. It's very vast. I don't even know how to describe it, but looks a lot like Western Canada or the Midwest, like Illinois, Iowa, mostly Illinois, like the flat spots of Illinois, but it's frickin' vast. You can see a long way. It's not like home.
Legs like this, bend over, and then grab your handpiece and pull the string here and
Yeah,
into it.
just like that, eh?
And then kick him down the chute when you're finished.
You had 3 or 2, I guess.
No, this one was 2. What they used to do is they'd go up to 12 stands this way.
Yep.
And then the board boy, as he's called, he'd run all day. How many kilometres he'd do from that end to this end where they'd come up and throw the wool on the table.
Really?
And over 12 stands, they'd go double-sided. They'd have 12. They'd up in there and stomp it all down and put pins over it, and then that one jacked up there and swung over here. And you had a thing called a monkey, which went up on top, and then you winched it down on this big lever.
Wow. What's hydro cost like?
Oh, going up and up and up. Last time we worked it out, it was about 20 cents a tonne a month. And I only ever built 100 of these with these integrated sleepers.
Oh, really?
The original ACO, that's one of them up there in the shed, but that's quite a modern one. Was built in the early 60s. Sure that that's a wet spot. You knew where the crack was. You're right.
Yep. And how many meters is that?
1.2.
1.2.
So the bank's full. We've got 300 millimetres plant available water there in theory, but in actual fact there's probably 200 there. Multiply that by 14 kilograms a millimetre, there's your yield.
I felt hot when I got here.
This has been remarkably unsuccessful.
The 2-track ones. Yeah. Yeah, I don't, and they burn, do they burn too on the ends?
Would I? So our country can pull it through if we get the right profile to start with, you know. Which isn't a big deal, but it's still, it was a profit at the price it was.
Uppers and orders and belts, and they were just like technically a nightmare.
So, did you make this or have it made?
We came up with this idea. And these things are made locally, so these fellas work with us and they developed it. So that just hydraulically comes out flat.
Yep.
And the header driver is high enough to be able to see. Where's the longest man-made structure in the world? Oh yeah, it says 9.
Yeah.
He'll try to bury himself here to protect himself, see?
Yep.
And he'll put his quills up. The dogs found a baby one in the shed today.
Huh.
But they're little.
So it was an interesting drive. I'm just going through some areas here that look like there's been a fire go through. I don't think it was very bad out this area. I'll have to ask Tamara when I get there. But when I left St. John Kent's place that I had lunch at, pretty much got dinged with a flash flood, and I drove through about 10 or 12 places in the road where I was probably pushing foot of water with my little hatchback that I got from the rental car place, and all of them were okay except for there was one that was probably 200 feet, maybe not quite 200 feet, probably 150 feet long, and it was pretty deep. I'm not gonna lie, I just about floated away.